Hey, shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, but Shemi Awashai, Waharaka Kodash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I honor you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. I want to play this little bit here, man, because the elder Ariella, he on point, man.
You're supposed to reverence the men of the Lord, man, to where it checks you. You know? Verse 18 says, "But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness, just all out of control behavior."
And that's what you see from the gorilla Hebrew, Alazar Bun lawyer. All right, the Sickari done. Is that not what you see? A fleshly man, a carnal man, who professed himself to be the high priest, all right, who professed himself to be the most holy. Yeah, it was all an act. He don't even believe that. That was an act that he was putting on, that he's still putting on, all right, to attain fame, glory, and money so he can seek out his own desires, man. Man was making merchandise of the flock to seek out his own fleshly desires, man, to live his best life. All right. He farming you people out there that were following him. He don't really believe. He don't fear the Lord. He doesn't have any humility. This ministry was always a means to an end for him. And the end isn't the kingdom of heaven. He's trying to create a kingdom for himself here. That's his spirit. All right.
What's going on in the nation of Israel, because they're compelled by the flesh. And this is what happens when you deny Yahushua. You get opened up to more and more demons.
Yeah, this is the guy that was fighting tooth and nail to say that we ain't supposed to worship Yahushua. He was hella fervent with that. Yeah, man. He ain't right. And you people that are still seduced by him and caught up in his cult of personality, you ain't right either, man. All right.
You get opened up to more and more ratchet behavior. And these guys are
Yeah,
infested.
he loved to be around ratchet people, man. Right? He wanted to be around and indulge, and not for the sake of he was humble and he was trying to preach the word. No, that's where he wanted to be. He wanted to be around the type of people that would allow him to fulfill his desires and his lusts, man. This is a demon, man.
With adultery demons, fornication demons, lasciviousness, you know, it's just a big freak show. Now we already knew. Great Millstone did. We've been rebuking this guy since he was in Great Millstone.
Yeah, he got called out early in the spirit, and that's what a lot of these people that's following now, they weren't around. This dude was always a demon, man, sowing discord and trying to be slick with it, trying to twist things around and manipulate. He's a manipulator, or trying to twist things around for his own benefit. That's what he is, man. And I told, man, even when you watch his so-called confession video or whatever the hell that was meant to be, he was still manipulating people in that video. He was still lying and deceiving and manipulating and trying to damage control to save some part of his character so he can continue getting them checks. All right, and it worked. It worked to a degree because a lot of you want to believe he's righteous, man. Unbelievable.
Because he was freaky back then. But this right here, sheesh. Goodness gracious, man. for the guys and people that are here at Great Mill, we don't take on new members in Great Millstone. You know, we have a very stringent vetting process. So we will say we told you so, but don't wanna. You don't need to come over here. But the fact that you would stay underneath that umbrella,
Yeah, that's crazy. The whole of Sickari, even the name they received, all right, is off. That the whole of Sickari is an extension of Al-Azhar's ego, his worldly ego. All right, this is First John's 2:15. It says, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world." And Al-Azhar represents that, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life. Right? He wants to be cool. Why you think my man changed the whole doctrine so he can have a fitted cap? Lied about a Nazarite vow so he can keep his ponytail. All right. His whole image is a fusion. He trying to fuse the ministry with the hip hop and gang culture. This is why he labeled himself the gorilla Hebrew. He gave himself that ego, that moniker. Let me ask you a question. What's Apostle Tahar's moniker? There is none. It's just Apostle Tahar. What is the elder Apostle Gabar's? Is he got some kind of a moniker, some kind of name? The Terminator Hebrew or something? No, it's just all BS. It's all uh, uh, um set up to feed his ego. The gorilla, like he's some kind of some kind of warrior. Then he called his gang his gang. He called his thing to Sickari. That the Lord wasn't dealing with the Sickari. The dagger men. The Lord wasn't dealing with them. Now were there ones of the Sickari that came out of that and followed the ministry? Yeah, but they had to come out of that. And Paul spoke against them zealots because this truth wasn't about stabbing up Romans. That's not what we were called to do. We were called to preach this word. Right? Wise as serpents and harmless as doves. But he has to have that image because it's part of his pride. That gangster image. That's why they had to have guns and show everybody they got guns and bring big Ross Clark rifles to camp. That's why he got to tell everybody about how he was in a gang and all that. Because this is all the love of the world. He loves that part of the world. I'm telling you from the very beginning. The glory and the fame and the things that he wanted, he couldn't get it in the world. So he's trying to use the ministry as a means to get the things he couldn't get being in a gang. Because he'd probably be dead right now. So this was the next best thing. And he's gonna pay for that. Because he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows that he's taking the piss. He's not sincere in any way, shape, or form. And I'm gonna show you this. All right.
Brother, what are you doing? What is going on? What the hell is going on, man? That's our people, though, man. When they do wickedness, they go all out.
And this is all due to his pride. You see, when he became the chief priest, right, and he became the leader of his own thing, that was literally the worst thing that could have happened to him because now his willful and prideful nature had no checks and balances. So it just got worse and worse and worse. But it's who he always was. It's who he always was. He didn't change, right, into this demon that we see today. He always was a demon from the very beginning, man. He didn't have no arc. This is just who he is. And all that freakiness and all that is is because of the growth of his pride and not having no one to check him. So at the same time he's building up this alter ego of being the high priest. And as big as that alter ego is, the real him was just becoming a bigger demon. A demon, man.
All out. Get you 1 or 2 wives and sit your ass down, man. God damn. You horny, bro?
Yeah, but it's again, and this is the thing. You can have more than one wife, right? But if you're really serious about this thing, like he claims to be, ain't nobody got time for all of that. Ain't nobody got time for all that, man. Like if you got a woman and you got children, you know that it takes a lot of time and investment. So me personally, I couldn't have no two, three, four wives. Like I ain't got the time, man. I got to work. But the thing is, he didn't have to work because he was living completely off the ministry. But me, I gotta go work. I gotta do this, and all. I ain't got time to be arguing with three, four, five different women, and then all the different children's problems. Ain't nobody got time for all of that, man. But he want to live like a rapper, and this is where the lines get blurred. The scripture tells you, man, all things are lawful, but not all things are expedient. You gotta know the time you're in, man, and what's best for your situation. I've seen a lot of brothers mess themselves up because over this multiple woman thing. But I got news for you. Most men in the ancient world didn't have multiple wives. Right? Multiple wives were reserved for men that had the ability or the station to do that. Most men in the ancient world didn't have multiple wives, and that was with reason. Like everybody wasn't just stacking up wives in the ancient world. Like look it up. It's something you could do, but it wasn't expedient for everybody. And some of these men are out here working in McDonald's trying to be King Solomon. It's insane. No, all it is you have an insatiable lust, and it always ends up causing you problems. Even just having one woman actually just causes you problems, man. You have trouble in the flesh, man. So just because you hear that you can have more than one wife doesn't mean you should. So wisely consider your station and your situation and what's best for you. That's what I would say. But some of these men, they use that as a reason to just fulfill their lust, because all it is you want punani, man. The scripture says, hey, you gotta mortify your members, man. Sometimes you gotta chill. There's been plenty of time I could have pursued women, and I'm like, nah, because I know that, personally speaking, like almost every time I've done that, it just ended like in pure madness, and I've not got time for it, man. I suppose you just got to get older. You're like, pfft. Now I'm just like, I ain't got the time, man. I don't want the problems, man. Prevention is better than cure. And you see how it served Al-Azhar, man, because he should have been concentrating on them problems he had.
Our people can't wait for shit.
Mm-hmm.
Galatians 5:19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, and that's what propagates itself when you get up under all of this magic and you put yourself in front of platforms. You have a weak spirit. You're not covered by the blood of Yahweh Shai. And these things are just going to increase. These different attributes. It starts out with these emotions, and it goes heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. to where the person, when a person can't rebuke, they blame when it can't be rebuked, they blame everyone else. When it gets so heavy, when the embarrassment goes so high, they lash out with wrath. They want their leg back. Let us start off with maybe some video, verbal back and forth, but it'll end up into strife and wrath, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of which I tell you before, as I've also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. You see? You're stuck within those different attributes in the flesh. You're not going to inherit the kingdom of the Most High. You best believe Alazar is not in that spirit. He can't even be told pagan is bad, or talking about pagan is bad, or sending your woman to get smacked up by Edomite is bad.
Yeah, and even when you watch that video when he was being deceptive about the whole pagan, one of the first things he mentioned regarding pagan was, "I don't even like pagan." So that should tell you, when we speak, you speak from your knowledge. So when someone's lying, right, or trying to deceive or manipulate, you're trying to formulate words, right? You end up still speaking by your whole knowledge. It's just why lying is very difficult. That's why a good detective, right, gets you to talk. And the more you talk, even if you're lying, you're going to betray yourself with your words, because lying is actually very difficult. There's very few people. You have to be almost psychopathic in order to lie without a tell. And even then, the more you get the man to talk, you'll pick up on the lies and the deception. And that video, he was lying. He said a pegging kit was purchased, and then after that, he pretended like he didn't know where the pegging kit went. It just disappeared. Oh, really? You didn't know? You got no idea where it disappeared to? You know what it is that he knows very well where that pegging kit went. It's just that he don't want to get into that, because that's gonna open up a whole nother can of worms. Because this guy was doing a lot, and it weren't just with his wives. Man was dealing, like he said, dealing with prostitutes and all sorts. And certain times when you can't get what you want to get with your wives, you go to the prostitutes, because it's easier. Most men, that's why them prostitutes make a lot of money. The freaker they are, the more freak, because with certain men, there's certain things that they can't do with their wife. They'll go to a prostitute to do it. They feel less shame, and the prostitute ain't gonna talk because that's their job. So that pegging kit was purchased, and then it just disappeared. Yeah, you don't know. He didn't say, "Oh well," and then she disposed of it, or I threw it away, or because you would absolutely would know what happened to it. He just said, "I don't know what happened to it." What do you mean you don't know? And then he just moved on. Yeah, brother, man, are not stupid out here. We're not stupid. You liar, man, deceiver. Oh yeah, but anyway, I wanna hold on. Now I wanna go to this oh man, this video right here that he just did, and he put one of his wives up as some MAGA supporter with Trump, which is crazy considering the fetish that he has, that he would do that. That's got no self-awareness whatsoever. Like, he was probably getting aroused putting this thumbnail together. It's crazy. Oh my goodness. Hold on, wait. Man was probably aroused putting this thumbnail, putting his woman there, or his woman next to Trump like that, and that's crazy. But anyway, let's get this. I want to show you the spirit this dude is in, because as far as I'm concerned, yeah, if this dude was sincere, he would have um took time out, yeah, to reconsider himself, man. But he tested the waters with that bullshit confession where he's manipulating everyone, and then he checked to see if the manipulation worked, how many people it worked with, and it was quite successful, that manipulation. And then he just came back hella proud like nothing happened. and then starts to attack anyone that has anything to say about the bullshit that he's been doing. It's insane. All right.
He gave me that information.
So he's still got the fitted cap on, with a little pink hoodie. This guy, he hasn't changed. He just riding with it, man. Dude's got
Be a
no,
husband, be a father leader. That's what I challenge.
he's got zero humility, zero self awareness. He's just running on pride, man. And you people have allowed that to happen because you're boosting him.
Ariella to do it the next 45 days and hop off my dick.
Hey yo, you can't be saying, he shouldn't be saying things like that, man, because it's spooky. Man, start taking you literal when you say things like this.
I know everybody came here to see me crash out on my wife tonight. Not my wife, because she's not my wife. Ariella, I know if this is how obsessed with me Ariella is, right? I'm gonna tell you how obsessed I am, right?
Because really, he wants to make this about him versus Ariella. This is about you and your false image, man, and the bullshit that you've been doing, and the mockery you've made of the ministry. That's what you need to address.
He's talking about how glowing. I know you want her, but I know you only want her because I done shot my seed up in her.
Oh,
I know you want her.
this is disgusting. These man, and it's I don't know.
No problem furnishing a bill of divorce so you can have her, or whatever nigga wants to have her can have her. I don't care. It's good. She thinks that she's painting a narrative that I just want her. I'm forcing her. I have an infinite amount of receipts contra-wise to that. I deal with a plethora of women. Always have. You think I'm caught up on this? The only reason I was caught up on this.
Yeah, he was living that lifestyle, and that's what. What did I tell you? What did I tell you, man? He was living that lifestyle. Well, if I was you, I'd wait for the kingdom, man. Just be content. Don't be like these dudes.
It's because I believe that I'm obligated to be because of what the Bible says, right? But she's accusing me of fornication. So if I'm guilty of fornication, you don't have to be my wife anymore. You're free to leave. You know we teach that pursuant to what Yahweh says. So why are you still calling you?
That was about a man divorcing his wife. These guys are idiots, man. But anyway,
Yourself my wife. If you believe that I fornicated, I don't. Do we see what's going on here?
these dudes have messed. They've messed everything up, man.
There's games that's being played with the nation of Israel, but I don't. I had 4 or 5 witnesses lined up. I had so much insurmountable evidence lined up, and then something just hit. You said what? Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Man, I want to get to the point of this video. This point.
There's something just hit me out the thin blue sky. I don't care. I don't care to please you people.
He's lying.
Going to play one of the fake games you see in ads. Okay, let's start by getting this AK first. Oh, we can probably get this other gun right.
There's a point in this video I'm trying to get to. He starts talking about views. Okay, right, Salakia. I went too far in. So in the beginning of the video, again, he starts off right, and what he's talking about is just worldly shit. It just reminds me of influencers. You know, when influencers are battling backward and forward, they're always comparing, well, how many followers you have and how many views, and you're only clout chasing, and it's unreal.
Doesn't make people care about you anymore. It doesn't make people any more interested in you at all. We can clearly see that by the performance of your videos where you're not talking about me. You're mad. You went on a whole Instagram rant about the fact that you went and taught a breakdown and it took a whole week to hit 1,000. Let's start there.
Now, notice that when he's talking here, right, he's talking in full confidence because he really hates this good. And I can understand why. So he's taught. He's full confidence. He knows what he wants to say. Look at his body language.
A week to hit 1,000. It had like 300 views the first day, and you were so frustrated and mad that everybody came and watched you talking about me, but they didn't watch your breakdown videos. And then the breakdown you're teaching is a breakdown that you learned from me, not one that I learned from the elders, one that came directly from me through the Holy Spirit.
All right, and that's the thing. This is where this guy went wrong. He knows that he never the Spirit of the Lord weren't dealing with him. The reason why he was changing up breakdowns is because he needed to appear like he wanted to appear like the Spirit was dealing with him. And most of the things he changed were things that was for his own ego, i.e. the fitted cap thing and all this different stuff. I'm gonna show you, he knows he ain't anointed. The Spirit ain't dealing with him. Look at his body language. Like, just pay close attention to his body language.
Let's start there. It took a whole week to hit 1,000. It had like 300 views the first day, and you were so frustrated and mad that everybody came and watched you talking about me, but they didn't watch your breakdown videos. And then the breakdown you're teaching is a breakdown that you learned from me, not one that I learned from the elders, one that came directly from me through the Holy Spirit, because I'm anointed, more anointed and appointed, right?
Right, you see that? You see how his body language changed as soon as he said, "I'm anointed and I'm more anointed and appointed." He tipped his head down, started scratching. Yeah, that's because he doesn't have confidence in what he just said. Because he's lying. He knows, man. He knows what he did.
Whole week to hit 1,000. It had like 300 views the first day, and you were so frustrated and mad.
Look at his body language.
Everybody came and watched you talking about me, but they didn't watch your breakdown videos. And then the breakdown you're teaching is a breakdown that you learned from me, not one that I learned from the elders, one that came directly from me through the Holy Spirit, because I'm anointed, more anointed and appointed, right? So
he knows that's not true. He just said it. You could see the break in his body language. As soon as he said, "Yeah, because I'm anointed, more anointed and appointed," his head went down, started scratching. This guy, man, listen. And he starts talking about views, and if you can get this amount of views in such amount of time, I'll give this money to his ex-wife or whatever. Bro, you're an idiot, man. Saying about all that BS that you're trying to make it about. Now, let's get this good. Because this is all this is about. My man came into this thing and he saw a means to live his best life. And he did it. All right. He starts talking about target audiences and all this different stuff. I'll give it to you. He's not an idiot. He knows what he's doing. This is how he's managed to build up the following that he has, because he knows how to target Jake. He knows how to appeal to the world, because he's of the world. And that's why you'll find that most of these Jakes that's following him are very worldly. They have a worldly vibration on them. He attracts them with worldly things like hip-hop and gang culture. All right. It says, the rise of false prophets, but they were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, like Alazar. He's a false teacher. He knows the Spirit of the Lord ain't dealing with him. That's just his act that he has to put on to keep his lifestyle going. And you just see it. You see the minute he had to address himself as, I'm anointed and all that. You see how his head went down, started scratching. He's not even confident of what he's saying. Because he knows, listen, I just made it up as I went along. All right? Among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, which is what this guy did. Talking about how you ain't supposed to worship Yahweh Shai and a whole host of other BS. Paul's writings ain't the words of the Lord. All kind of madness. Guy's a demon, man. Right? You can't rebuke him if you're not a Levite. You can't rebuke him. This guy's a demon, man. It says, even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. And many shall follow their pernicious ways. Yeah, and that's why he's got all these followers that he's gloating about and glorifying. Oh, thousands of followers, thousands of views. All right, cool. But I'd rather be me than you. I'd rather have a few views and have integrity and sincerity than be you, because you're a fake and a phony, man. You don't believe, man. You don't have no faith. Talk crying in the video, talk about you sacrificed this, and you ain't sacrificed nothing, right? You got what you wanted out of this truth, the ability to go on $2,000 dates and show off with women like you're a top G. That's what you wanted, and that's what you got. Come around here talking about you sacrificed something. You didn't sacrifice a damn thing. You actually, what you did sacrifice was the ministry. You sacrificed Yahweh Shai so that you can run around here talking about you're the high priest and live your best life. Damn demon. It says that many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. And through covetousness, right, shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you. And that's what this guy was doing, making merchandise of these people, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. Right? So yeah, this guy, man, oh man, that thumbnail, bro. This dude, Gorilla Hebrew, man, he's a demon. He's a demon, man. And then in this video, he tries to blame GMS for all of his freakiness. Like, nah, man, nigga. All right. You're a demon. You always have been a demon. And we've been warning you about this dude. He's not spiritual. He's not a man of the Lord. He's not sincere. You can have a guy that is sincere, like he actually believes what he's saying. He just lost. Like, you could run into some dude and he's bugged out, but he actually believes what he's saying. This guy here don't believe. He fully knows, he's fully cognizant that he's playing you people. He knows. He knows he's not holy. He knows he ain't really no chief priest. He knows that's just a merchandising. That's just a character that he's playing to take people's money. Because the real Alazar Bun lawyer is that what was his name again? Something delirious. Whatever that's his real alter ego. He hasn't changed from when he was in the world. All right. So anyway, I don't want to talk too long about this dude. Just look, man. It's sick what he's done. It's extremely sick what he's done, man. And all these, stay away from the whole of this Sickari thing, because it all come from him. And this dude is not even a little bit of the spirit is working with him. He's an absolute fraud and a phony and a demon. So that's my thing that I'm saying. Stay away from anything to do with Sickari and anyone that was in Sickari. Stay away from them. That whole thing needs to be quarantined, because the spirit was completely off. This guy here, who is the leader and the founder, is an absolute demon. There's no sincerity in him, just pride. Trust me. That's what I'm trying to say more than anything. Yeah, this dude. Otherwise, you're gonna get what's coming to you if you follow this dude in any way, shape, or form. All right, or anyone that was underneath him. So if that, say shalom.